Welcome to the What the Futures podcast, season 1, episode 1. Hey folks, welcome back to the show. It is episode number 2. Season 1, episode 3. Here we are, episode 5, number 7, 11, 20, 26, 34, 37, 40, 52,
56 of the What the Futures podcast?
70, 75, episode 80, episode 83 of episode 99. So welcome to episode 100. Hey folks, welcome to the What the Futures podcast, your quick guide to better farming decisions. Well folks, it's hard to believe that we've hit episode 100 of the What the Futures podcast. The show started back November 1st, 2023. The idea came from, me being on paternity leave. Finley had been born that January. I was on paternity leave and I was looking for something to do, looking for a project to tackle. I had been away from crop marketing for about a year, I guess, and then starting to do Snapchat updates. And I remember telling somebody, one of my friends, like, I want to talk markets, but I don't have anybody to talk markets with. Like my dad and my brother can only take on so much market chat. And so I started doing Snapchats, talking about markets and putting that out. And then it came around to the idea that, hey, I had done some audio updates. I'd done, 2 a day for years. So probably north of 1,000. And I thought, man, like if I could get behind the microphone here, maybe I could put a podcast together that people would be able to learn from, farmers could tune into, and hopefully provide a little bit of advice and guidance. And so I didn't know where to start. Well, my buddy Steven, working, he's out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. He had started his podcast, EH, exclamation mark. I just messaged him like, hey, Steven, could you give me a hand on getting set up? And so, yeah, we figured out platforms to use, figured out camera that could make sense. Well, actually, we didn't know the camera yet because I was using my laptop and this camera was pointing straight up to the ceiling in the garage. So we didn't have the camera figured out quite yet, but we got started. So I was listening to episode 1 the other day and I was drinking, I don't know what I was having for a cocktail in there. It was something, looked like maybe scotch to me. And then tonight is tea. I'm a little bit under the weather and I'm 40 now. I'm not 38. So it's tea for this Wednesday night. In that first episode, yeah, the camera's pointing to the ceiling, but I just talk about how I want to put out some content that people can take and use the crop marketing tactics or the information or the transparency to help in your operation, in your plan, in your business plan, in your crop marketing plan. And I remember telling my wife, this is just a hobby. It's just going to be for fun. I'm just going to put out an episode whenever I want. And then, as you'll see later on in this episode, John Deere stepped up nice and early, wanted to partner. And it wasn't long after that where a few other great folks joined up and wanted to partner. And away we went. Friday became the day. Put out episodes every Friday. Going to try to put out an episode every single week. Didn't quite do that, but close. Try to do something every week and try to provide some context. I even thought about, if you're ever really bored, you don't have to do this, but if you were really bored, you can kind of see like the show, how it transitions and moves around. Because I remember thinking like, oh, I need to talk about agriculture news, commodity news, like farm news. And I'm like, wait a minute. You guys are only listening to this every Friday. There are a pile of different ways that you consume just the news, and they hit your inbox every day, well before I'd have a chance to explain to you what Tuesdays or Mondays news was and how the impact that had on the markets, right? And so the show, and it will continue to evolve and change as the weeks go by here. And the fun thing, the really fun thing for me, what fills up my cup here is the interaction with growers. I don't get out into the public stuff very often, but when I do, I get to see farmers, either Ag in Motion or at the conference, or, I do a few engagements, but just to see the people, receive the messages on social media or the messages, the emails that come through or the messages on YouTube. Like that's what fills my cup. And it's really, really exciting for me when someone messages me and says, hey, you said this, a few weeks ago or a few months ago or last year. And I took that and that helped me with my plan. That helped me execute my crop marketing. And that was a success. It was great advice. That is the ultimate, right? So I even had a call the other day from an industry person that just said, hey, thanks for putting some of this stuff out. And he said, I wasn't sure if I should call or not. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Because people, they don't, right? It's the same thing. It doesn't matter what it is. You're like, that's great. I should reach out. But people, we don't have time. So I appreciate it. And I told him, thank you so much for reaching out. So it's been a wild 100 episodes in a crop marketing way. Remember, the goal here, the target audience is farmers in Western Canada that will listen to podcasts or watch a YouTube video. It's a very niche market, but it's one I'm very proud to be working in and contributing in. I hope you're enjoying it as well. So it's been a wild 100 episodes. We've recorded in breweries. We've recorded in different versions of this garage studio, recorded by the campfire. We've had guests all the way from, I think England is probably the furthest guest with Mike Lee. Fantastic people from across the prairies, different microphones, different cameras, different lights, different setups, all through this 100 episodes. So today we're going to do things a little different. We're going to take a look back at some of the moments, the people, and of course the hats that got us here. Because these hats, they are a pain point in my house. My wall of hats behind me, I think I've accumulated over 100 hats. It's well over 100 hats because at some point in season 1, I thought that I should wear a different hat every episode. Now, this is one of my favorites. You've seen this one multiple times. And I went to look back at season 1, and there's about 3 episodes where I don't wear a hat. And I'm thinking, why am I not wearing a hat? My hair looks terrible, but here we are. So the hats, let's get into it. Let's take a look back at some of the moments. And thanks for hanging out with me for episode 100. We'll get into some small little crop marketing housekeeping stuff at the very end. So let's get into it.
So that was 0 tariffs on yellow peas in March. Great. There's that uncertainty is now.
I love the Pacers. I'm not like a diehard fan like I am for.
But it's really the green feed crops that are incredible right now. Anything that's a cereal.
Doing well over here in Lethbridge, just rolling along.
Yeah, well, there's not much to do outdoors for us. We got things, small yard, hey, not much. Yeah.
Well, I don't think we should be surprised that Chuck Penner is the most frequent guest and one of the most popular guests on the What the Futures podcast. Of course, bringing gold every single time that he joins the show. 52 guests. I was thinking about this number before. 52 is quite a bit higher than what I was thinking. What impresses me the most about this roster of individuals, I even think of Brett Waltz joining me on episode 2. Episode 2, I reach out to weather folks out of Indiana to be like, do you want to come on this podcast? I'm launching it. You're going to be on episode 2. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. Crazy. But over the years, we've had some brilliant minds, analysts. We've had farmers join the show. Even my brother joins the show early on, but is not on camera. I don't even know if we used an image or how we did it, but didn't want to be on camera. We have had traders, friends. We've had my kids on the show as well. And, the great thing about it is just the contribution from everyone. I've never thought that I was the smartest person in a room at any given time. Always looking to learn from other individuals, looking to collaborate, looking to test out theories, get challenged. And, I got taught a lot of stuff throughout the show, recording the show, asking the questions. I got taught a whole bunch of stuff. All right. Let's, before I move on, let me just say my appreciation for each and every one of you that had the courage to come on the show. It wasn't easy for everybody. There's a few folks that really needed some convincing or were stepping out of their comfort zone to come on the podcast. And I thank you for taking the leap. I thank you for having the trust in me and for being part of the What the Future's family. Thank you so much. I hope you continue to contribute on the show. And of course, excited to see all the new faces we bring on over the next 100 episodes as well. All right. Let's move over to the rascals that I just mentioned here. Every so often, life sneaks into the studio, usually wearing pajamas, asking for snacks, and usually involved because someone was sick from school or sick from whatever event they were supposed to go to, had to stay home with dad. Dad really wanted to record with this guest, record the episode. So there's been a few times where the kids have popped in and contributed. And honestly, those interruptions are some of my favorite memories. I think of a few of Willa's taglines that I still bring up every once in a while. And I think of Finn and his snacks. So let's revisit some of the cameos from my junior producers over at What the Futures.
Hey folks, welcome into episode 56 of the What the Futures podcast. Papa Thorne from Cows and Control. Before, he's a busy guy. Cattle markets are hot. And so I've got my co-host with me. No, man, that's right, man.
Welcome into episode 57 of the What the Futures podcast. You've got Ryan and Wilhelmina with you today. You can say good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Good job. But it is the holiday season.
Yeah.
And
it's snowing outside.
How old are you? 4. Good job. So Christmas time is coming?
Yeah.
How many sleeps?
No, there's one more.
One more sleep after this one, hey? Not gonna do a big predictions. Telling me canola's gonna be $12.90 in December. I'm gonna take action. That'll line January. We'll dial in that crop marketing plan. Whoa, buddy, that's pure sugar, my man. You're gonna be wired. Kids t-shirts left from the conference, so I'm going to get those over to Leo. We wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Kind of a funny one. And here's one of my egg munchers here showing up.
Oh, hi.
Finn joining the show. He likes this. I think this is episode 3 for you. Hey, buddy? Yeah, episode 3 for Finn. Yeah, and he's got his little John Deere 7720, which is, that's good product placement, my friend. That is good product placement. It's a good combine. Oh, there you go. It wasn't great before, and then any comments? Oh boy, that just those are great. Those are a lot of fun. The junior producers, you gotta have that youth come into the show. Just give it that little boost every once in a while. So Finley will be he's gonna be 3 years old here in January, so that's coming up pretty quick. And Willa turned 5 in September. They it's funny, at preschool, Willa, the kids are all talking about what their dads do or their parents do. And there's a lot of nurses and teachers and firefighters. And when the preschool teacher asked Willa, like, what's your dad do? And she kind of looked at me or came after school and said, Dad, what do you do? And I was like, I have a podcast, I guess. So now I'm known as the podcast dad at preschool. So yeah. At least she can answer now because what's your dad do? Absolutely nothing. He's just at home and hangs out in the garage. So, that could work too, right? Anyways, so that's great. I noticed family moments. We didn't get my wife on the show yet. So I don't know if we should make that a goal over the next 100 episodes. We'll see if we can catch her. Also, my parenting skills. Did you see what was going on in that one video? We're building a gingerbread house. The TV's on, so they're watching TV. They're eating spoonfuls of liquid sugar, whatever that stuff is, in the gingerbread house kit. Finn looks like he hasn't bathed in a week. I guess I'm not going to win any parenting awards based on episode 57, the Christmas episode. That was a lot of fun. Let's get into my obsession here. I have a problem. I'm here to just state it for the record that I have a problem. It is a bit of a hat problem. That's what I've got going on. I'm one of those guys, just like a pair of shoes. I used to wear a hat and just wear the heck out of that darn thing. You know, I used to have maybe 2 or 3, but then I just got it in my mind that I wanted to wear a different hat every episode. And then I had a sponsor give me a bag of hats. There's a pile of them to pick through. And then, of course, not that I'm known for my Hawaii hats, but I've got some very bright, colorful, wild hats from a great supplier in Hawaii. We've done 3 different orders and people have a blast with them. I think of the pineapple hat that was causing some mixed confusions on some Mexican beach vacations. I think of even the latest one with the 1990s vibes. Hats, they're a lot of fun. They've turned into a lot of fun for me. I see them all over the place, all sorts of different ones. It's just something that, that I've just been kind of building towards, building up to. And so I did the other day, I did take a bundle of hats to donate. All right. I don't think people want my gently used hats. So I did help my family household by getting rid of some hats, but I've got a whole bunch coming. So anyways, I try to wear a different hat pretty much every episode, or I try not to wear them often back to back. And, if you see me remove the hat, you'll know why. It's getting a little thin up top there. If you want to go check it out, just go in the first 5 episodes. There's a bunch of my head in those. All right. So yeah, I Seed Company hats, the Tragically Hip hats. I got 2 of these that are beauties. A pile of What the Future's hats that are beauties. My John Deere hats. I wore a lot of John Deere hats at the start. Go to my John Deere dealership and buy the latest John Deere hats there. Let's just get into unofficial hat Hall of Fame. Actually lower than I expected with the 41 hats. I thought it was going to be a little bit more than that, but see, I don't have a problem at all. And I think the funniest thing in there, the 2 things that my squid Halloween hat from last Halloween is in there. And also the episodes that should be removed from the internet is when I decided to wear an elf costume. I did the 12 Days of Christmas, and I also sing in those episodes. So don't go look at them. They are there, but please leave them alone. They were early on. I was young and naive. And anyways, we had some great partners. We did 12 Days of Christmas. I recorded in the garage every night there, and had some fun getting prizes out to a bunch of folks. All right. 41 hats. You know what? I'm going to break that. I'm going to break that record. I'm going for 60 hats in the next 100, maybe even more, maybe 80. We'll see. But I need more hats, folks. Oh, and lastly about the hats, at the start, this didn't take off, but at the start, I would say if you are farm with a farm hat, I'll trade you. Like, no, straight up. You give me a farm hat, I'll give you a What the Future's hat. And you can't quite see them behind me, but North Bank Potato Farms is back there. Prairie West Farms is back there. Amy Family Farms is back there. I'm trying to think if there's any others. I've got a few toques as well, but that offer stands. Maybe it didn't work in episode 1 to 10, but maybe in episode 100. Do you want to trade hats? Let me know. We'll trade hats. All right. We got to keep my hat. I got to keep this thing going. All right. Okay. If you've been here since the early days, the very early days. Yes, the early days. You've watched the show grow up a little bit. You know, the laptop cameras pointing at the ceiling, the audio. I remember my brother messaging me being like, dude, you got to fix the audio. Like, the audio is terrible. It's so quiet. Like, you got to figure something out. The lights we didn't have. I didn't have the lights I have now. You can't see them, but I didn't know you needed lights, right? I remember not even knowing that this was going to be on YouTube or a YouTube thing, but you know, farmers, you guys do a lot of searching on YouTube. You do. And I didn't believe it until my father-in-law, who is not quite 70, challenged on the computer, challenged on his phone. But by golly gee, can that guy get stuff on YouTube? Can he find YouTube search stuff and get things figured out? Like, that's his go-to. And I'm like, oh, okay. If he's doing it, okay, then yeah, this is a real thing. All right. So these days now we've got a full setup. You know, we've got a much fancier camera. We've got lights all around me. We've got different platforms that we use for recording as well. I actually spend time. I've spent time and energy trying to put things in the right spots. We've had production meetings to clean things up. We've had the editors, Stephen and Veronica, say, all right, we need you to adjust your camera this way. We need you to move some lights around this way. We got to do this and that. It's all been appreciated. It all helps. So we've got a full setup now, but let's take a quick look at how the production has evolved from a kitchen table podcast to what you're seeing now. The Futures Podcast. I hope you're having an outstanding day. I hope you had a great week. May, can you believe it? Great month across the prairies. This means that we are kicking off. Man, this market is made. The market started to pull back. This crop is made, is what I'm going to say. Malt until it gets loaded on the boat. All right. So just a word of caution with that, because what has happened before is you deliver malt. The other thing I learned in production, so I wanted the TV behind me. I wanted the TV playing. You could see it in the first couple episodes. Actually, the very first night I record, I don't think the TV's there. It comes in a couple days after, maybe the next week. But what I didn't realize is all the copyright issues. Like, we had to blur out the TV at times. If we were playing, I think we played behind me was like a Post Malone concert or something. Cause I was like, well, it'll be sports behind me, or it'll be, I remember trying to do a sports theme. And then I remember trying to do like a concert theme. Tragically Hip back there. Tragically Hip, totally fine. No problem at all. Of course, good Canadian band. No copyright issue. They're good with it. But I think we had a Post Malone concert playing in the background, and they're like, shut this guy down, shut down this guy's show, his podcast. He could not be playing Post Malone on the TV behind him. So I learned a lot of stuff all along the way. So again, I think we'll look back at this episode and we'll say something similar, like, oh man, look what was going on in episode 100. Look how it's changed now in episode 200 or 300 or whatever it is. So been a lot of fun. And honestly, folks, it's the people behind the scenes, Augustine, Stephen, Veronica. They're the folks that create the visual and create the atmosphere. And I just get to come on here and talk markets and try to hit the right button, and away we go. They do all the handiwork in the background. All right. Now, as I said from the start, this was meant to be a hobby. This was meant to be something that I would put out whenever I wanted. And I remember telling Chantel, I don't care if 3 people listen to this, as long as they're getting something of value, something tangible, something that they can take and use and make a great decision from it. Like, that's a win for me. You know, when I've met with sponsors, it's been kind of along that same line where I appreciate the subscriptions, hitting the subscribe button. I thank you for everyone that's done that, where YouTube's just gone crazy here lately, and podcasts have have just been going awesome as well. So I appreciate all that, but it's not what drives me. What drives me is when I get that message from someone that says, hey, I really like what you talked about here. I implemented it in my plan or on my farm, and with some great results. Boom. That's it right there. That's what I'm looking for. When you talk to sponsors, like, you got to think, I put out there on social media, I get the blessing that I can do this podcast because I had a non-compete going on. So I got a blessing that I could do this podcast. I put it out on social media that I'm going to do this. And right away, I got a message from a marketing agency that represents John Deere. Said, hey, we hear you're putting out a podcast and we'd like to talk to you. They commit to a podcast from me before the first episode's even gone out. And we meet and they're like, well, how many listeners do you have and viewers? And I'm like, 0, none. I haven't started yet. I'm starting in November. And they took the leap. So, none of this would have happened without the companies and the organizations and the people within those organizations. I can't stress that enough. Champions within the organizations that look, heard, believe in the podcast and said, we want to be a part of this. I can't thank you enough, because you guys keep the lights on. You keep the caffeine flowing. You allow me to sit in my garage studio every week, have some fun, spend some time doing some research, putting out some content, and then just upgrading things slowly along the way. So I thank you for that. So here's a quick shout out to all the sponsors who have helped make What the Future's possible, and some of the ad reads that maybe didn't go quite as smoothly as planned.
Episode number 7 is brought to you by John Deere. Check them out at deere.ca. Yeah, you heard that right. Did Santa get my Christmas list early? Have I been a good boy in 2023? John Deere on the What the Future's podcast. This is a big deal for me, okay, as you can tell. Super pumped to have them as part of the show. Welcome back to the What the Future's podcast, recorded in the UPL studio. You heard that right, folks. New sponsor on board. Welcome to UPL. Great to have you. We'll be hearing a lot more from those folks here over the next weeks and months.
I want to thank Brett Young, new show sponsor for the What the Future's podcast. Welcome, Brett Young. Big hug to Brett Young for joining the chaos here at What the Future's. So I'm excited to partner with Brett Young, excited to have them on the show as contributors as well. Oh, man. An ad read is something that it's an art, folks. It's an art to get those nailed down. Honestly, the companies are fantastic. The people are fantastic. Lots of great conversations and resources. And, what I'll just say is, to John Deere, to UPL, to Brett Young for coming on board, Ag Careers helping out as well. Just a thank you for putting a little faith in this show when, it wasn't going to be the Joe Rogan of the podcast world. It wasn't going to be, the millennial farmer of YouTube. That's not what this is for. And so, if it's the Canadian Center for Agricultural Wellbeing, that's put some faith in me as well. I thank you, because you certainly didn't have to, but you did. And I appreciate you for that. All right. It's been a lot of fun so far. I hope you guys are enjoying this as well. So, folks, it's incredible. In episode 100, the cats have made an appearance on the show more than once. I'm sitting here. We've got Fred passed out right there, and we have Mittens passed out right up there. They didn't even attempt to join episode 100. They knew the job. They knew what they had to do. Stay out of the way. But that hasn't always been the case. So let's look at some of the moments with the Garage Cats and the What the Future's podcast.
I'm going to continue to harp, just keep you organized, get all your financial farmers to come join me on the podcast. Of course, we'll record this from...
We're going from here. So let's get into it. Episode 54 of the What the Futures podcast. And there's no shame in rewarding rallies and especially at profitable levels. So look at some of the specialty crops out there. You know, the acres are going to climb by what percent? I talked about this last week. But a chance to increase production. And on the demand side, some green peas. Because when I look at my negative wheat margin, and I look at my negative barley margin, and I look at my slightly positive canola margin, I can't sit there, just park it, don't do big decisions for at least a week. It's tough, right? It's tough when you see some of these markets, well, I don't know what that case is. Like your fertilizer is more expensive than that. Your land probably, talk to the experts and figure out what works for you. But, when I boiled it down to that risk and how much do we want to offset with insurance? Way too many cats involved in the podcast in those first 100 episodes. What is going on here? Now, the last thing I'll say about the cats is there were moments where I'm recording when the cats were younger, especially, and there's the time where the cat jumped on my back and was crawling claws out up my back as I'm recording the show. All right. That was a lot of fun. And then there's been more than a handful of times where they have just snagged my legs and were using my legs as a scratching post, and I'm trying to keep it together. So we've got new rules here. We got new rules, cats. That's it, guys. Enough. You're not on the show here anymore. It's over. Contract terminated. Some of my cords. We got cords connecting computer, camera, internet, and I had to replace those cords because of whatever damage the cats did, scratched at them, whatever it was. So, anyways, cats, you're out of here moving forward. Now, we're going to talk locations here, and we'll wrap it up with a little bit of housekeeping, some crop marketing stuff, because by golly gee, we got work to do yet, folks. But I've never let location slow me down. Yeah, audio has sucked at times. And yeah, lighting was not great. But I recorded around the campfire with Willa. Finn and Chantel were napping. Me and Willa were hanging out by the campfire, and I'm like, man, I got to get a podcast out this week. We're camping. I just recorded on my phone around the campfire. 20 minutes of pure audio nightmare, but hey, we did it. I was at a trade show. I tried to get there before it would get busy, and so I'm set up in the John Deere booth. I just walk into the John Deere booth. I'm like, hey, guys, I have a podcast. You guys are sponsored. Do you mind if I record in front of the X9? Sure. I guess. I'm like, thank you. Set up my laptop and start recording. Recorded on my in-laws' deck as well. I think right around Egg in Motion. That's when it gets dicey, folks. When you want to take a little time off, or when you want to, or when you got something else going on and you still want to get that episode, right? So I've recorded from just about everywhere: offices, combines, breweries, backseat of the truck. If it's quiet enough to plug in a microphone, it's a studio. So let's tour just a few of the memorable spots that I've recorded. I think the best one for me is I'm barbecuing pork chops, I believe, when we're camping. We're camping with a bunch of family. They're all at the other campsite, and I'm just crushing beers, barbecuing pork chops, drinking beer, and recording this couple podcast segments from the campfire. That's got to be one of my favorite ones. The campfire one as well. I just really like that hat that I've got on that day. Now, you probably won't notice this, but at the start, it's just being recorded off my iPhone. And then again, as time goes on, you get better stuff. And so now I've got a great camera and microphone setup that, again, it's not like being in studio, but it's better than my first studio setup. And it's, you can record anywhere. I can record in the field. I can record in any location. I pick up decent audio. So anyways, I think for locations, the other one that stands out for me is at Egg in Motion. I wanted to ride around on the wagon, the tractor pulling the wagon, and I wanted to record the full episode while being by riding on the back of the wagon at Egg in Motion. And so I set off to jump in there and I would start recording, but I didn't realize the people around me, like they needed to give some type of like permission to be on the show. Like I couldn't just record random people sitting beside me. So there's a few people who are like, hey, I'm going to record a podcast episode. Do you mind? You'll be in the background. You're not in it, but you're in it. And they were like, yeah, that's fine. But then they would get up and leave and more people would come and sit down. And then it was a little louder than I thought. And then people would just stop and stare at me and not say anything. After an hour and a half, I just gave up. I'm like, you know what? I had a whole bunch of different segments. I just gave up. I'm like, I'm not doing it this way. I'm going to have to figure out another way. So that was definitely a memorable one. Anytime you're on location, not that it happens a lot, but when you're on location, it's certainly trickier. I think another good one, this goes again back to Egg in Motion, but trying to record early in the morning before people get there and people are just coming and walking and saying hi to you. And you're just like, yep, just recording something right now, but thanks for saying hi. I think most hungover recording. I didn't do many morning recordings, but I would say that in Brandon, Manitoba, that was just a lot of travel, flights and trade show stuff. And so that was a lot of travel. I was pretty tuckered out and the voice was a little ragged. They used to bug me back when I was doing an audio update every morning, a crop marketing update. They'd say, oh, Ryan got into one last night. You could sure hear it in his voice this morning. So not so much. Again, I'm 40. I've settled down here a little bit. Again, I'm drinking tea tonight. So there you go. All right. Well, I'm going to challenge myself. One of my challenges moving forward for What the Futures is just to record in more unique scenarios and with more people. So over the next 100 episodes, you'll see more and more of that. All righty. So as I've said, folks, I appreciate the views. I appreciate the likes and the, you guys hitting that subscribe button. I appreciate all of that 100%. The YouTube channel's had over 117,000 views. Folks have watched over 8,200 hours of content on YouTube that we've put out. We were wanting to get to 500 subscribers by the end of summer. We're at 835 right now, YouTube subscribers, which is just crazy. Some of our videos have approached 10,000 views. Again, bonkers to me that is the impact that we're making out there at times. Like you put something out, you certainly don't sit here in this garage in this studio and think that 100 people are going to watch this or listen to this, or that, I'm going to put something out from an advice perspective that's going to be gold and people are going to take advantage. Like you don't really think that that's going to happen. When it does, it's really special. And you try not to scare yourself too much to say, that you have to be right all the time. Because I have not been right all the time. We joked putting the show together. We joked about trying to put together like the best advice, which clips were the best advice and why. And then I said, well, if we do that, we also have to do the worst ones as well and why. And, the thing about crop marketing, the thing about putting out this content is that it does have an expiry date. You do the best you can. You're not going to be right all the time. But there's little things that you can that you can do. There's little things that I can focus on to help farmers. And crop marketing is 365. It's every single day. Farm business is every single day. You're going to have some wins and some losses in there, and you're just trying to stack up more wins. That's what we're all trying to do. And if we can do that, we get a little bit more black ink with the accountant and in the bank statements, and can have a little more fun farming, right? All right. What else do we got on here? So again, folks, it's been 100 episodes later. When you look at metrics and you look at, there's 100 episodes, does it even mean anything, right? Is it a milestone? And the reality, and I've actually seen this from a few folks in Western Canada, but the reality is when you decide to do a podcast, most 90% of podcasts fizzle out somewhere between the 7th and the 10th episode, between 7 and 10. After 10, it starts to go downhill. And I saw this in Western Canada. I saw a great podcast come out, and it was like 1 to 2 episodes a day. And it was just bang, 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 huge topics and good stuff. And I was like, that's like a 6-month thing. Like you could work on that content for 6 months, put out plenty of episodes, but it's just bang, bang, bang. Right. And so, 100 to me is a milestone because again, most don't make it past 10. I did, we improved throughout or I hope we improved throughout the years. I hope the sound got better. I hope everything got better. I hope I got more comfortable and that you could see that come across on the camera. And there were moments where I did not want to put out the episode. I did not want to do the work that week or even that month. There's times where somewhere in like the 20s or 30s for episodes, I was really struggling. And then you put some content out and you wonder, oh, was that any good? Was that good enough? And you question whether it was. And then I got to another point where again, I just struggled. Even this past June, I had a really hard time putting some episodes out there for a little while because, things are happening in your life as well. Things are happening and some weeks are great and some aren't. And so it gets easier. If anyone's listening that wants to start up a podcast, it does get easier. The prep becomes less or you focus on different areas in the prep. If you're willing to listen to feedback, take notes, listen to yourself. You know who's listened to every podcast episode? This guy. Actually, I didn't listen to episode 99, but I'll get there. But listen to every single episode. If you're willing to do that and learn from it, then, give it a shot. We need more crop marketing podcasts. You agronomy guys have too many podcasts already, but we need more. And I encourage anybody in the space to put yourself out there and have some fun with it. So I'm still learning. I'm still going to have a bunch of laughs. I'm going to wear as many new hats in season 3 as I can. I just want to thank you, the listener. I want to thank the guests that have been here, putting faith in this production as well. You guys for tuning in, the guests for having faith in the production. I want to thank, the folks at Pod Sound School, Steven, Veronica, Augustine. Again, I do the easy part. They do the hard part. They turn my episodes around very quickly, which I had to say, hey, we talk crop marketing. It goes on a Friday because the markets are closed on the weekend. This information expires. They understood that. We're up for the task. I want to thank Steve and Jeff for at the very start, the first 24, 25 episodes with them. Steven taking the time to help me get set up and learn about all these programs, and even folks with other podcasts like Tyler Yaremchuk, just answering all the questions I had early on. So it's great. I want to thank my family. This is a classic What the Futures podcast episode. It's Wednesday night. It's November 5th, late at night. And I've got the kids on the baby monitor. Again, I'm not saying I'm the best parent out there, guys, but got the baby monitor on. Everyone's tucked in. Dad's in the garage recording the What the Futures podcast. All right. So thanks so much. Here's to the next 100 and to all the futures we'll talk about along the way. I forgot to mention, what the futures, where did that come from? Where did that name come from? And I had a couple different names, and my buddies from Toefield in the group chat, I threw some different names at them, and what the futures kind of stuck out. So we went to a larger group, same thing, and it stood out there. And I won't say which sponsor, but I have not launched at this time. I had not launched the podcast, and they're like, yeah, like what the futures, that WTF, like that's pretty edgy. And I was like, it is, but I'm not a WTF guy. Like it is what the futures, because you're sitting on the farm, you're wondering why the heck the canola market tanked, or why the wheat market isn't rallying at all. Or you're wondering as you stare at your combine that's broke down, how you're gonna, what decision you have to make here on the repair or replacement, or what do you have to do, or all the decisions from the farm. And you have WTF moments all the time on the farm, like, and in crop marketing and in farm business, head scratchers. So is it edgy? Yes. They asked me, Ryan, we'd love for you to consider changing the name. The first episode hadn't even gone out yet. They asked me to change the name, and I said, absolutely not. I'm rolling with this one. And it is going to be What the Futures, and you could jump on board. And they said, all right, we'll jump on board with you. All right, folks. So that's it for episode 100. Housekeeping things. All right. Conference tickets, ryandenny.ca. Again, thank you to everybody that has bought a conference ticket so far. To me, it doesn't matter if there's 20 people in this room, 150 people, or 200 people. I'd put this on for 20 people. All right. So thank you to everyone that has bought a ticket. If you want a ticket, there are still some available. All right. ryandenny.ca. If you've applied, well, then you already got the email. You just have to click the link, buy your ticket. All right. So thank you so much, folks, for that. We have the online auction, ryandenny.ca. Check it out. All the money raised goes to the CCAW. Deb is going to join me in next week's episode. She's a therapist with the CCAW. We have UPL, Battalium on there. We've got a Brett Young item as well. We've got some John Deere stuff. We have What the Futures, this hoodie. If you want this hoodie, this is a very rare hoodie. It's there. My wife's salsa. She's auctioning off some salsa. We've got hockey tickets. We've got a Cabela's gift card. We've got ProGrow. Maury, he's got a great package, including a little WestJet travel voucher in there. Some great swag as well. Trigger Grain, Left Field Commodities, Trent Clarenbach subscriptions for you to bid on. Get these folks on sale. Some of the brightest minds in the business. We have Lunchbox Crew subscription available. We've got some branding, a branding package, a crib board. The list goes on and on. We've got a great hat signed by Paisley as well. All the money going to support the farmer mental health crisis line. Okay, folks, so go check that out. Get your bids in. We're going to run that for a couple of weeks. Crop marketing, we'll dive into this further next week. I said, hey, guys, this is going to be an important month of crop marketing. I said this a couple of weeks ago, and here we are. Kansas wheat making a move. Soybeans making a move. Corn making a bit of a move here as well. Spring wheat, come on. You got to get going here. But I'm making some moves. I think there's things for you to consider there as well. I'm looking at deferred months. I'm looking at 2026 new crop. I'm looking at CPS wheat in Alberta at just about $8 a bushel for next year. Of course, spring wheat just above that. Canola $14.50. I don't know, guys. $13.75 maybe in parts of the prairies, but just take a peek at next year. The time is now for your crop marketing plan. So don't forget about that. I'll be back next week with all the usual stuff, eating your veggies. We didn't even talk about how that came to be. Probably a preschool moment, but eating your veggies, positive moments. This whole episode is a positive moment for me, but we'll be back next week, episode 101. Tyler Yaremchuk. We've got Deb from the CCAW. I think we have one more guest as well. Slipping my mind. Anyways, that'll all be next week. So thanks so much for hanging out. Episode 100. Absolute blast. Also, lastly, I want to thank Amanda and Yvonne, social media marketing gurus. They put the stuff out. If you see it on social media, they have created it. And so they're doing all the hard work, writing the emails for me, the content, the copy. The show wouldn't be anything without them either. They're a key contributor each and every week. So thank you to everyone that's helped me get episode 100 out the door for the What the Futures podcast. My name is Ryan Denis, and I'm out of here.